Everybody knows Nintendo. You don't gotta like Nintendo, but everybody knows Nintendo. You can't tell me you've never seen this character. It's obviously Zelda. You can't tell me you've never... To cover Nintendo's whole deal, we gotta start way back at the beginning. Shigeru Miyamoto's past life, Jesus, creates Nintendo. This company was around with the damn dinosaurs. There was still like Shakespeare or something. While all the other gaming companies were still fetuses, Nintendo was out here making Hanafuda cards, which was basically Yu-Gi-Oh! These cards were the inspiration for a brand new Nintendo card game. The credit card, in which they used to buy a donkey so they could film the graphics for Donkey Kong in 1981. Now this was insane. While people around the world were revolutionizing science and the laws of physics, Nintendo was revolutionizing... But then the demons from hell caught word of Nintendo's cool monkey and decided to rise from Satan's bile, stretching their vile appendages from the slime to create Sonic, which surprisingly used to be an actual competitor to Mario. But then Sony, a guy who made phones in 1946, saw Nintendo fighting with Sega and went mentally insane. He locked himself away from his friends and family, staying up every night to create something that could compete with Nintendo. Then, one day, he finally created the PlayStation, which was actually really cool. But while new companies were being made and new games were coming out, Nintendo always just kind of seemed to be better than everybody else. Mario leaps into 3D with a game that revolutionized how video games worked. He used to go left and right, but now he goes insane. You got every move. You walk sideways, you walk the other sideways, and also every other move. It wasn't the super hard game, but people just destroyed its physics, pushing it to every possible extent to get as much fun out of it as possible. In my opinion, while there were many other amazing games that were made before this one, Mario 64 was all of a sudden the new template for video games and how they should be made. So Sonic, of course, tried to take on 3D and... Sega then realized that their games sucked complete dick, so to redeem themselves, they made a million other terrible fucking games. Nintendo made the GameCube, the Game Boy, the Game Glove, and then something incredible happened. I was actually born. And boom, just immediate good reviews and publicity. Everyone was loving the new Zondo Sheep, so Nintendo was like, man, let's make this guy a console, and they gave me a DSi. When I got this thing, it was like getting $1 million. The only other game I'd ever played was B-Ball on the iPhone, which was later discontinued on the App Store because it got one bad review. New Super Mario Bros. Was my first video game ever, and it was amazing. It was that game that made me get up at 4 in the morning to play on a Monday, only to have my mom come down and get mad at me, so I said I thought it was still summer vacation, even though it ended 2 weeks ago. This game looked cool, played cool, and was in fact cool. Then I got Kirby Mass Attack, Zelda, Lego Star Wars, and it was then that I realized that video games were the best thing. Then the Wii came out, and I didn't get it, but my friend did. So I played it every goddamn day until my eyes melted out of my brain. Now the Wii is not a perfect system, but it was pretty damn good. I mean, when the motion controls worked, it was like magic. Some of my best childhood memories are of sleeping over at my friend's house and trying our hardest to get through the Kirby Return to Dreamland boss rush, or pissing off my friends in Smash Bros by using the same attack over and over again. It was amazing. But from this point on, Nintendo started to falter in quality, pumping out the same exact titles for different consoles, failing to slip in comfortably with online play, making bad Animal Crossing games, making bad Mario Party games, making bad Pokemon games. Now there was obviously some golden, beautiful games made here and there, but it seemed like Nintendo may have been losing their cool. The Switch bursts into the room and with one felt swoop makes Nintendo the top dog once more. Zelda Breath of the Wild made every other open world game look like shit. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze made every other 2D platformer look like shit. Mario Odyssey made every other game look like shit.
I am now a T-Rex.
It was like Nintendo had been working on all of these games for so long that they forgot to make other ones in the meantime. And now you can play all these games on the go, like come on, you can be playing Splatoon in your room and suddenly you have to shit mid-match, so you just ba-ba-ba, and now you're playing Splatoon in the bathroom. But while the Switch is one of, if not their best console, with the most technology and the most modern, somehow it doesn't feel as Nintendo-y as the others. What's one thing every Nintendo console has in common? It's the home screen music. When you open up the system, the soft and serene sound brings you into the experience and lets you know that you're about to play a hell of a game. And it really just puts your mind at ease and says, hey man, you're alright. Here, play some Pikmin 3, get your mind off things.
You want some Arizona iced tea? We got a shit ton.
It makes a Nintendo console a Nintendo console. And guess what the Switch doesn't have? Fucking, you already know it's menu music. Now, this does not affect how amazing the Switch actually is, and I know they're trying to make it more modern and appealing to all ages, but taking that music out makes it feel empty. It makes it feel like the Switch is just what you use to play games instead of a home in of itself. When I was a kid, sometimes I would just leave the 3DS menu open as I went to sleep, feeling safe and secure, like I was where I was meant to be. So I have a question, Nintendo. How the fuck am I supposed to chill out to... I mean, just make an option, Nintendo. Make an option for home screen and shop music, please, for me. Remember when you made me the DSi? Just this last thing. Now, if you're this far into this long-ass video, you can probably tell that I love Nintendo. And while maybe it has its flaws here and there, it will always be my favorite game company. It's obviously advanced to higher and higher levels of technology and quality, but it makes me afraid that maybe in 10 years, a Nintendo console will just be like every other console. No more reassurance or caringness, just a place to play Nintendo games. And if that ever happens, I know I can always boot up my Wii and let the soothing music take me back.